Tuned into our local government elections 2021 special. My name is Lelethu Ngaphi. Today is the big day. Mpuma Kapa TV has reporters in every corner of the Eastern Cape getting ready to bring you the latest news as it happens. But for now, we are joined in studio by political analyst Dr. Ntsikelelo Breakfast. Good morning, Dr. Unjani.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. So let's get straight into it. Do you think that there will be a big voter turnout at this year's local government elections?
Well, your guess is as good as mine. I think we shall see how it goes. But I think there have been many people who have been unhappy about the way things are, who are saying that the way things are is not the way things should be, that they feel let down by the powers that be. Maybe that might influence the turnout, but judging on the numbers, my expectation is that we might see a lower voter turnout as opposed to the previous years.
That actually was my follow-up question. I was going to ask, how different would you say that this year's elections are to previous years?
I think starting democracy is easier than keeping it. You know, starting democracy is easier than consolidating it, because consolidation of democracy is a process. No wonder we have ups and downs. So I think the challenge is that people are unhappy about the state of affairs at local government level. So by staying away from the polls is a form of protest, you know. But I don't think that is a way out of their situation, because even if you don't vote, other people will vote on your behalf, you know. Yeah.
So as you had mentioned, like at local government level, right, I wanted to ask, do you think that politicians should be held legally accountable for the false promises that they make during this time to people, like maybe promising things that they could never pass at local government level?
I think the way out is to basically, you know, vote for other people that you feel like you have confidence in than the ones who have let you down before. I'm not sure if there is a constitutional provision that you can legally hold, you know, the powers that be accountable. So the only way is to go to your nearest polling station, then cast your vote.
And we had seen the trend was that the ANC had lost votes, as in from 2011 to 2016. Do you think that this year will just be a continuation of the votes dropping, or do you think they might maybe gain more votes now with things like the step aside and the anti-corruption? Do you think that that is a way maybe that they can use to try and garner more votes, or do you think they'll continue to drop?
If there is a higher voter turnout, that will give the ANC an upper hand. If there is a lower voter turnout, it means that the ANC will be on the back foot. Why? Because if there is a lower voter turnout, normally opposition parties, they vote as a block, you know, as a unit. So that will hamper the prospects of the ANC to do well. I think the greatest advantage of the ANC is that it is a liberation movement. You know, I don't think that people vote for the ANC because the ANC has a good track record of, you know, getting things done. So yeah, we shall see how things are going to play themselves out.
Do you think that the Metro is going to continue to be a coalition government, or do you think there's a chance that a vote might swing one way?
Yeah. I think there will be no outright winner in the major urban centers, namely Nelson Mandela, Tshwane, and the other one that is also a hotspot. I think that will create a scope for a coalition formation. So that's the first possibility. The second scenario is that because I feel like the opposition parties have fallen short in terms of outmaneuvering the ANC. So I feel like the ANC does have a chance, though, to bounce back with the bank. Yeah.
Remains to be seen. Thank you very much. Let's now cross over to our reporter out there in Umtata, Lumkapeki Ndawo. Just give us a quick scene setter. What's the situation there?
Masibambe ngazo zozibini sizibulisele nathi kubabukele emakhaya Lelethu. Namhlanje Lelethu silapha kwisikhululo sovoto esilapha engangelizwe kwidolophu yaseMthatha. Ngokwembali ke le yenye yendawo ezazidla ngokuba zibe nemigca emide yabantu abazokuvota ngeli xesha. Kodwa ke sithi xa safika kungekavulwa iingcango kusalungiselelwa apha ngaphakathi. Khona ukuze abantu bathi befika zonke izinto zibe sezime ngobume. Kodwa ke apha kum ndinaye utata uNonkasa ophuma apha kwa-IEC ozothi asicacisele ke ngendlela esele belungele ngayo ukuze abantu bangene bazokuvota. Masingene kuye. Tata, masikubulise sikwamkele apha kwiMpuma Kapa TV. Ingaba namhlanje senikulungele kangakanani ukuba abantu bafike bazovota?
Siyabulela sisi, masibulise kuwe nabaphulaphuli. Ndingokwa Nonkasa, ndim uPO walapha kwesiteshi saseRotary lapha engangelizwe. Sesikuxhobele kakhulu ukuba sibe siyaqala, amapolisa akhona, abasebenzi bakhona, isiteshi sesileyishile. Ngo-7 o'clock siyaqala.
Alright. Ukulungiselela khanibe namagingxigingxi ukulungiselela abantu bazovota apha.
Hayi, sisikhathi namagimigini njengoba besiqale kwangoMgqibelo kwi-special bus esilapha. Sesilungisile nesiteshi nendlela yokusebenza yonke into sesiyilungisile.
Alright. Lobo ke nguye ke utata uNonkasa ophuma apha kwa-IEC. Kodwa ke bakhona abahlali balapha engangelizwe esele bekulungele ukuzovota esawuthi sike sithi qabaqaba nabo. Umama yena uzawuthetha naye achaze indlela ekudala belulindele ngalo lusuku. So khumbula ke into yobana uvoto lokugqibela belungo-2016 njengoba kuzokuphinde kuvotwe kwakhona namhlanje. Mama, masikwamkele sikubulise kwiindaba zeMpuma Kapa.
Ewe, ndiyabulisa kuni nonke bethu nabahlali basengangelizwe nabo bonke abavoti. Ndilapha eMthatha eMeyi, ndinguVeronica Ncethezo, ndizovota, ndaye ndivota, ndityhafile, andibone into endiyivotelayo. Kukwaba kudala ndafika kudala kule ngangelizwe, zange ndaxhamla nendlu. Kokhiwa ndikhona, zange ndafumana msebenzi, ndisengulaa mntu ndandifike ndinguye, ndizibambela amapishopu qha endiphila ngawo. Izakhiwo zikhona, ndikhona, imisebenzi yavulwa, nenantsika neekhontrakthi ziyavulwa, iikhontrakthi zange ndabamba nenye, ndizile nzuzovota.
Ingaba mhlawumbe mama yintoni ekukhuthazayo ubuzovota, ufuna utshintsho lube yintoni kule game?
Ndifuna ndifumane indlu, dala ndilapha.
Alright ke mama enkosi. Alright ke mbukele ekhaya ukhona notata naye ozokuvota naye sawuke sive naye into yobana mhlawumbi olu suku namhlanje ingaba uthemba luzawuziza tshintsho luni ingakumbi apha kulo mmandla wasengangelizwe. Tata, masikwamkele sikubulise kwiindaba zeMpuma Kapa.
Molweni sisi, ndibulisa uMzantsi Afrika wonke noMthatha ezawo.
Ingaba tata njengoba kuzovotwa namhlanje wena yintoni orhalela uba itshintshe emva kokuba uvotile?
Utshintsho loba ndizawuvota apha ndirhalela okokuba umbutho lo endizawuvotela ube nezinto ozawuthi azitshintshe kwizinto sezenzekile. Sinabantwana abancinane abapase grade 12 abakwazi kwafumana msebenzi, abakwazi ukuthini. Kwathina abo sihleli nje sibambe ko-CWP asikwazi ukuba singakwazi uba sibaqhube sibase kwi-tertiaries nendondo zonke zodwa. Yiyo ke le ndaba inje, lo nguVusumuzi kaMarhaxa othethayo. Ndibuhlungu kakhulu ke kuba kaloku urhulumente bakudala besinabo apha bebesenza izinto ezithi sizibone, beza nemisebenzi. Yazi uba ngoFebruwari lokonyaka kufakelwa imisebenzi ootishara, kwapheliswa zonke ke zonto. Asiyazi uba ke ithetha ukuthini ke loo nto leyo. Iminqweno yethu ke siyarhalela okokuba sibone kukhuliswa kwanaloo mali yaba bantu ezimane zibalwa kwimisebenzi kuthiwa ziqeshiwe kanti aziqeshekanga ku-CWP. Sirhalela noko bayikhuphule imali ibheke phezulu.
Enkosi kakhulu tata. Alright ke Lelethu ngumhlali walapha engangelizwe esichazela ngezinto anqwenela ubana zitshintshwe emva kokubana begqibile ukuvota. Okwangoku masibuyisele phambi kokuba sibuyisele kuni, bakhona abantu abezayo abangenayo esibona uba bayeza ukuzovota ngoba sithe xa sifika apha emva kwentsimbi yesi-5 kwabe kungekabikho bantu, afika ke namagosa ezokuvota. Kodwa ke bakhona abantu esibabonayo bethe chu besiza bezokuvota eze kubonisa uSinethemba phaa naza neemoto kwabantu nemibutho ezopolitiko phaa i-EFF nayo ne-ANC zezinye zee-political parties ke ezineminqweno yobana zifumane iivoti apha kule ndawo yasengangelizwe. Ezinye zezinto esizaziyo abazikhalazelayo abantu zinto ezifana norhwaphilizo olongameleyo kule ndawo, into zokubulawa kwabantu, into ezifana ne-gender based violence, into ezifana noba abantu bangafumani imisebenzi. Abanye babo bathi yiminyaka belindele ubana kuzoba khona utshintsho oluzothi lubancede nanjengoko bengakwazi ukuphangela. Kodwa ke namhlanje sawumane sisiva nakubo xa bengena bezokuvota, sawumane sisiva nakuba abahlali bale ndawo izimvo zabo. Okwangoku ndicinga masikhabe sibuyisele apho kuwe Lelethu, sawuqhubeleka simane sizisa ingxelo njalo njalo.
Must I link Nako Dr. Breakfast?
For men, made for men.
This is Catch Up with the Lotos, where the real conversations are shaped.
There was no love at first sight because when I looked at her, I thought, there's nothing that I can build tonight.
Sex, my favorite topic. It's just sex.
Umuntu, ngumuntu ngabantu. DSTV Communities is inspired by this spirit, which is why our new product offers Stockfells the ability to use the power of the collective to enjoy the best entertainment together, pay their DSTV subscriptions together, and as a group earn cash. It's time for you and your squad to feel every moment together. Great entertainment, now with earnings, with DSTV Communities.
Welcome back. We are still joined in studio by political analyst Dr. Ntsikelelo Breakfast, who's answering some of our burning questions that we have around the local government elections. Dr. Breakfast, yes. Do you think that political parties have done enough?
Partly yes, and partly no. Remember, a lot of political parties were banking on the fact that elections were going to be moved to the right, but the Constitutional Court held a different position. So they were found wanting because they thought that elections were going to be held maybe next year. Now you must remember also, in order to win elections, you need more than having a good message. You have to have money. So some of them were not prepared for these elections. Yeah.
And do you think the special voter turnout over the weekend is encouraging?
I'm not sure about that because I cannot quantify how many people went to different polling stations throughout the length and the breadth of the country.
And then going on to some of the allegations of vote rigging that came up yesterday, do you think that this is something that will be prevalent throughout the day, or do you think it was an isolated incident?
My view is that there are no elections which are perfect on a global scale. Even in the US, there were issues. However, those elections were declared as free and fair. I'm not saying that we must correct wrong with wrong. I'm just saying that we must be realistic. You see, if you, at a polling station, you cannot account for 5 or 10 ballot papers, I don't think that that is big deal. That is normal. So long as you cannot account for ballot papers on a large scale, you know what I mean? So those things are everywhere, because where there are human beings, there are problems.
Okay, and what are some of the trends that you can say you've noticed with these local government elections?
I think it's the unhappiness. People are unhappy about the state of affairs at local government level. Like you said earlier on, that people are making commitments that they cannot honor. So people feel let down. But I'm not sure if I've said this before. The beauty about democracy is that it creates a scope for people to elect their leaders, to monitor them. And if they're unhappy, then they must elect other people. But you can't elect the same people then complain. Then it means that you are the one that is at fault.
Do you think that the infighting amongst the ANC, I mean, we saw it in the BCM when the president was there to address a rally, we had ANC versus ANC. So do you think that will lead to a further demise of the ANC in that metro, which was previously a stronghold of the ANC?
The greatest advantage of liberation movements is that their lifespan tends to be extended. Political behavior doesn't change overnight. So I think people vote for the ANC not because, I mean, I'm sure I've said this before, not because the ANC is able to promote development for the majority, but they vote for the ANC because of historical factors that, I mean, had it not been for the ANC, they would not be having the democracy that they have at the moment. So the ANC benefits out of that currency, out of that collective memory. And I think the strongholds of the ANC are found in poor areas, in the rural sections of the population. So in those spaces, the ANC will do well, but the ANC will fall short in urban centers like in the Nelson Mandela Bay, Tshwane, and so on. But in other metropolitan municipalities, like for instance, in eThekwini, I think they're going to bounce back. In Buffalo City, they're going to bounce back. Why? Because there are rural areas there, even in Mangaung. But the same cannot be said about the electoral performance of the ANC in Johannesburg and Tshwane and even here.
Very interesting. And I want us to go back to eThekwini because I want to speak around the issue of political violence in that area.
Yes.
But right now, let's cross over to our journalist, Jessica Bobo, who's out here in Gqeberha. Jessica, what's the situation?
Thank you so much, Lelethu. We are here in Fear Plus, Ward 28, and we arrived here 10 minutes ago, and people are slowly getting in, and also the parties are slowly setting up their material for the voting, and also the IEC inside the hall is starting to set up. And right here with me right now, I have a candidate of the ANC here in Ward 28, Luzuko Peter, who he will tell us whether he thinks they did enough in the vote casting or not.
Good morning, Lelethu.
Luzuko Peter, do you think you did enough?
Good morning, Lelethu, and good morning to your viewers. Yes, we did enough. Yeah, we did everything. Actually, we did our door-to-doors, we did our public meetings. There's nothing that we did not do in terms of campaigning. We campaigned, the public is happy with the candidate of the ANC. They are promising that they will vote for us. Remember, the process didn't start today, this process of voting. It started yesterday. It started on Saturday, actually, on the 30th and the 29th and 30th. The public has voted for us. We've seen the feedback when we were in our information tables. The people are happy with the candidate. Yes, we did enough, Comrade Lelethu.
Okay. Do you expect people coming in large numbers? As you said, you did enough.
Yes, they will come in numbers. They will largely come in numbers. Specifically for one reason, because the ANC has engaged in its selection of a candidate. It has engaged the public. Has engaged the public to select the candidate that they want for the ANC. So this is a product. Luzuko Peter is a product of the community. The community is happy with the candidate, so they will come out in numbers.
There you have it, Lelethu Ngaphi Luzuko. They're saying they did all that they can, and he believes that today the people will come in large numbers. And he only says that it's only the matter of time because it's still early in the mornings. Otherwise, as the time goes by, people will come. And if my camera person can show you on this side, we also have people coming in. To vote, and also we have a resident who will be telling us on how he feels about coming in here today. Molo tata. Yaphila tata. Yaphila tata akho nto. Bengicela ukubuza nje tata ba uziva njani ngale mini yanamhlanje?
Sisi wami ngale mini namhlanje ndonwabe kakhulu kuba siyayazi into bangabani ANC izawuphuma phambili kulena iwadi. Ngendlela amavolontiya besebenza ngayo asebenze kakhulu gqithi. so ndiziva ndikhululekile kakhulu sisi wami. Enkosi.
Tata njengoko ulapha ucinga into yokuba abantu bazawuza ngobuninzi babo nanjengoko bebebaninzi ngexesha nina benisenza ugayo lwevoti?
Ewe sisi ndiyathembela injalo uba ngabana bazoza ngobuninzi babo abantu. Ungajongana ngoku abantu sebeqalile ngoku indlela bangxame ngayo for le mina namhlanje sebenantsika sebeqala ufola phayana kunjena ke kwi-voting stations zethu zonke. Enkosi sisi.
And also Lelethu, as Mr. here is saying that people are coming in large numbers. People are coming in large numbers, and if my camera person Vuyisa can show you here that people are going in there, and even the police are also there just to guide. And as you can see there, if you can see, they are old people. They are waiting. They're waiting to vote. They seem so excited to be here today, voting for the change. For the change. And at this moment, Lelethu, back to you in studio.
That was our reporter Jessica Popo out there in Fair Plus in Gqeberha. Our reporter mentioned that the police were there, and it links me back to what we were speaking about at a breakfast right before I'd linked to her. The issue of political violence.
Yes.
What informs this, and how were we as the Eastern Cape? We were identified as one of the 4 provinces by Minister Bekicele that will be prone to political violence during this time, but there hasn't been much incidence of that. So how did that happen? Like, how did we escape, for lack of a better term? Yes.
Well, I think that some people in some quarters, they think that political competition is posing a threat to their ambitions to ascend to the helm of power. And they think that the way out of that is to eliminate those that they're competing with. I also think that there are some elements of criminality in the security forces. No wonder it's very difficult to stop this kind of behavior. And that was one of the findings of the Mawarane Commission.
So do you think that this is an issue that will carry on, the issue of political violence?
Well, your guess is as good as mine. I think the security officers, they need to get the job done. They need to be professional and not work side by side with the criminals in engaging in these operations.
So then you'd say that you don't think the police are doing enough?
I think there is a lot of corruption in the security forces. No wonder it's difficult to arrest these people. Maybe it's the remnants of state capture. I don't know.
So what do you think the outcome will be when it comes to the battle of the metros, with all the parties that are so hotly contesting all the metros?
Yeah, I think there are 2 possibilities. The first possibility is that there will be no outright winner, meaning that there will be a scope for the political elite to join forces and form a power-sharing arrangement. The other scenario is that the ANC can bounce back.
DA's leader, John Steenhuisen, had made a comment during the week saying that he's not ashamed, or he's not going to say sorry for saying that people should not vote for the smaller parties. So then we had the UTM's General Holomisa saying that should the DA not win an outright majority in the metro, they mustn't call them. Right? Yeah. We had Patricia de Lille's Good as well, Good Party, saying the same thing. So do you think that the smaller parties are just blowing hot air, and that if the DA does not secure an outright majority, that they will get into bed with the DA? Or do you think they'll stick to their guns and really say, no, we want nothing to do with you because you were decampaigning smaller parties in this election?
If you look at the nature of democracy that we have, we've got a multi-party democracy. So there is a role for smaller political parties. I don't think that the leader of the DA means what he says, that people mustn't vote for smaller parties, you know. I think after the elections, when the elections are over, they will kiss and make up, you know. Yeah.
So why is Helen Zille still camping in PE?
Because this is a contested terrain. You know, if the DA wins, it will be very symbolic because the DA takes pride in the fact that where they govern, they're able to get the job done. So they want to convey, a message that if they ascend to power, they can change the lives of the people for the better. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Let's now cross over to our journalist on the ground in Lumka.
Masiphinde sibambe ngazo zozibini kuwe Lelethu sizibulisele kwakhona kumbukele ekhaya. Siselapha ke kwesisikhululo salapha engangelizwe. Bathe chu ukuza ke abahlali kodwa into esiqapheleyo abanye babo bakwazile uba bathethe izikhalazo zabo into abazikhalazelayo. Abarhalela into bana ngaske zibe ziyalungiswa ngurhulumente ozokuthi akwazi uba aphumelele kule ward yabo. Kodwa ke bakhona abanye abahlali esawuphinde sithethe nabo sive nakubo izimvo zabo kwakunye nento bana ingaba balubhalisele na uvoto. Mhlekazi singonondaba eseMpuma Kapa TV masikubulisele sikwamkele kwiindaba zeMpuma Kapa.
Hayi ndiyabulisa sisi nokubhinqa kwesiphendulo mkolo sisi. Bathi ndiyakhalaza.
Ingaba mhlekazi ulibhalisele uvoto?
Sentsho ndandibhalisile but ndizojonga apha kwiballot paper uba ndisavela na.
Zintoni orhalela uba zibe ziyatshintshwa apha engangelizwe emva kokuba kuvotiwe?
Mina sisi ndirhalela kutshintshe kulungiswe indlela nombane lo kutshintshwe nombane kaMthizi kufakwe Eskom kulungiswe indlela sinikwe nezindlu nemenholo ziye kuxhixa kuklilo nedolophu lekwazi abantwana abantu bazaba nezifo.
Kunichaphazela kangakanani into bana kube khona izinto enisazikhalazelayo ingabe izinto enizikhalazela ngoku zizinto ezintsha azifane nanizikhalazela ngo-2016?
Yo sisi yazindala sisi zindlela kakhulu into sizikhalazelayo sisi oko kwakunje apha engangelizwe umdaka. Yeah.
Enkosi ke mhlekazi lowo ke Lelethu nguye umhlekazi ozovota apha ngaphakathi. Saphinde sive nakomnye umbukele nakomnye umhlali walapha engangelizwe ozothi asicacisele yena ngezinto ezizisidingo kuye nezinto azicingela into bana abahlali balapha engangelizwe bangabenefita kuzo xa zinothi zibe ziyalungiswa. Nanjengoko siyazi into bana le ndawo yasengangelizwe yenye yendawo abakhalazela ngayo into bana yindawo enenkunkumba, indawo emdaka engahoyekelanga ncam ukubana kuziswe iinkonzo eluntwini. Abanye abantu abasakhalazela into ezifana nezindlu nezinto ezifana namanzi. Kodwa ke masiphinde sive kumhlekazi yena ongumhlali walapha naye okokubana ingaba yena lutshintsho lunjani anqonela uba lwenziwe kule ndawo yakhe. Mhlekazi masikubulise sikwamkele eMpuma Kapa.
Enkosi sisi nami ndiyabulisa sisi.
Ingaba zintoni orhalela uba zibe ziyatshintshwa zibe ziba lutshintsho emva koba kuvotiwe apha kule ndawo singangelizwe?
Ndirhalela sisi into kokuba apha kunganantso kuvulwe imisebenzi like abantu baninzi abasebenzi bahleli. Abanye abantu bapasa o10 banekhosi bahleli abasebenzi. So uba mhlawumbe kungavulwa umsebenzi like ifirm khona ifirm ezingapha like kuvulwa imisebenzi nasezifirm kuvulwe nefirm. Ndicinga uba sisingala uncedo elo plus nezindlu kwakhiwe izindlu. Like mina ndisuka apha eWaterfall. Meba apha eWaterfall ndifike from ngo-2000 but still andikaxhamle nakwendlu. Ndiphantsi kotata uceba okhona pha eWaterfall but uyandazi andikaxhamle. Kuba singake sibe nako basifumane nezindlu sisi. Like kuklinwe nedolophi apha imdaka sesedolophi.
Enkosi mhlekazi.
Ewe sisi enkosi.
Alright ke Lelethu besicacisela ke nayo umhlalo walapha engangelizwe ngezinto arhalela into bana zibe zinika ingqwalasela emva kokuba kugqityiwe ukuvotwa. Ezinye zezinto ke abazikhankanyileyo izinto ezifana nento bana xa kusokhiwa amabala ezemidlalo ufumanisa into bana wagqityiwanga nendlela zithi sokhiwa zingagqityi. Babekhankanya nokudura kombala osetyenziswa kule ndawo uthiwa ngumthiza. Kodwa ke sophinde sizise nezinye iinkcukacha xa siphinde sibuyela kuwe. Okwangoku masibuyisele intabo kuwe Lelethu.
That was our reporter Lumka Bekendau in Ngangelizwe. And that's as much time as we have for now. Our next election special show will be at 8:30, so please do join us for that in the morning. Don't forget to go out there and cast your vote if you've registered. And from myself, Lelethu, Ngaphi, and the MPK team, it's goodbye.